We are nearing the end of the month of May, and in June we do have a lot of catalysts to look forward to. In this video I'm going to be going over a few of them. In just a few days we will likely be past all these worries of the debt ceiling, at least for the short term. We also have news that Hong Kong is going to be allowing crypto trading, and exchanges are flocking there. In a few weeks we have the Fed meeting, and we're going to see what the Fed is going to do. Are we going to see more rate hikes? Did we already see our last rate hike? And also on June 1, crypto withdrawal should be activated on Voyager's platform for those of us that are still stuck in Voyager. And we have some other things to look over, so let's get right into this. Consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Definitely helps me out a lot, and let's take a look. So this recent article here says that the debt ceiling talks are making progress as this deadline nears. And as a side note, our debt ceiling is currently at $31 trillion. But don't worry guys, they're all but certain to claw back some $30 billion in unspent CV-19 money. I mean, is that even worth mentioning? I think that's kind of a joke. We owe 30-something trillion in debt, but we've got some good news. We can get about 30 billion back because the pandemic emergency has now been lifted. Whoop-de-doo. But all jokes aside, I do think this will get resolved, and of course we will push our debt ceiling higher and higher, and before you know it, we'll owe about 50 trillion. But at least the crisis will be averted for the short term. And next up, crypto exchanges are flocking to Hong Kong. One such exchange is Huobi, and their goal is to enter the market in a compliant and regulated way, which will help boost the development of Hong Kong's Web3 ecosystem. And we also have Gate.io also on board. They're currently in the process of licensing with Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, or the SFC, and another crypto-focused financial service provider, Amber Group, coming from Singapore, is also reportedly considering moving to Hong Kong. But that's not it. We also have OKX and BitMEX. BitMEX platform should open up to Hong Kong users on Monday. And there are more exchanges and brokerages that seem to be flocking to Hong Kong because of these recent developments. And this change would allow for a retail trading of cryptos, and to comply with these new regulations, trading platforms and exchanges are required to apply for a license. And as said by Marcus Thielen, sorry if I butchered the last name, there is now a gold rush from international crypto firms to serve Hong Kong-based retail investors, actively engaging in high volatility products such as warrants and other derivatives. With nearly 100 local billionaires, the city is rich in tycoons and well-capitalized family offices that could fund crypto firms moving into the city. And let me know in the comments below, do you think this will cause Bitcoin to start rallying as we start entering into June? I think regardless of what happens in the short term, Bitcoin will continue higher. And next up, we have something else coming up a few weeks away. And this is the next Fed meeting. It's going to be June 13 and 14. And we'll get an idea of, are we going to see one last rate hike, maybe one more after that? Or was this previous rate hike the last one we're going to see? I personally think this last rate hike was possibly the last one we're going to see, but we will find out towards the middle of June. And I do suspect that by the end of the year, we may see rate cuts, which will help a lot of small caps because Wall Street's avoiding most small caps right now, as they're either going to have to dilute or they're going to have to pull out debt at a very high interest rate. So once the environment changes, I do think money will flock back into small caps. And lately we have been seeing a little bit of that. And we've also got something a little more localized. Voyager, people that have their money stuck in Voyager's platform should be able to take out their crypto starting on June 1. And if you want more about what's going on with Voyager, I'll leave you a link down below on one of my previous Voyager videos. But essentially, June 1, we're going to be able to take out our crypto. After a 30-day period, that crypto will be liquidated into cash. Currently, we're looking at about 35%, but if FTX litigation gets dropped, we may be looking at somewhere in the 60% range. And we've also got something big coming up for one of my favorite stocks. That's going to be CleanSpark. In just a few days, we're going to get CleanSpark's mining update. And I do suspect in either this mining update or the next one, we're going to hear about more machines going online, meaning more daily Bitcoin production, meaning more revenue. And speaking of revenue, they are expecting nearly $51 million in the quarter we're currently in. And I think the trend has already shifted. If we do see a revenue anywhere over 42 million, that'll be 4 revenue increases in a row, which is a huge contrast to what we were seeing most of 2022, where we were just seeing revenue decline due to Bitcoin's price dropping, which forced the company to sell more Bitcoin for a period than they were mining. But now we're back to mining more than we sell and adding to that HODL balance, which will help them greatly as we inch towards the next halving. But to me, looking at the chart, things look great. I personally think we're not going to see the lows ever again. We're not going to see this 173. Right now, we're riding this uptrend. I think the threes aren't out of the question yet, but I do see CleanSpark pushing higher as we continue through this year. We did recently see a golden cross on CleanSpark, but we do have something looming over our heads. It was this double top, now it looks kind of like a triple top, right around $5. CleanSpark needs to break $5, and then we can definitely push higher. that'll be a great sign to see that we break past that double top. Now, over the short term, we may find resistance here once more. We may just pull back, start testing these moving averages, maybe test this yellow line, the support line on this channel here. But regardless of what it does in the short term, I do think long term, this can easily be a 10, 15, maybe even $20 stock by the end of this year. But we'll see how that statement ages. But thanks as always for watching, guys. There's definitely a lot that's going to be going on in June, and I think it will end up being a pretty good month. We need to just get these debt ceiling woes out of the way. We need to see what the Fed is going to do. Are we going to see more rate hikes, or is that it for the rate hikes? And we'll also see the effect that Hong Kong puts onto Bitcoin. But let me know, do you think this is a big deal? Do you think it's not going to cause a rally in price on Bitcoin? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks as always, guys, and have a good weekend.